1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months.
By the talk, if it don't make sense, we cutting them off. Head on swivel, see the whole scene. Left, right, middle, but we stay in between. No scripts, no spin, just facts in view. If they tell it one way, we check it times two.
Think for yourself, don't let them rent out your mind. Truth, don't panic, level head every time. Free thinking news, stay sharp, stay wise. Read between the lines, then open your eyes.
Think freely, question everything. News without permission, unfiltered, unaligned, unafraid. This is Free Thinkers News, powered by the Free Thinkers Rock. And tonight we'll be discussing Trump's recent address to the nation and critiquing his performance in his first year. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it.
1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year.
Okay, I did some fact checking, and the big beautiful bill is in fact slated to go into effect in 2026, and the major components of it are the expanded child tax credit, eliminating tips, taxes on tips and overtime. It incentivizes American-made products. It raises the estate or the debt tax exemption, and it makes the 2017 tax cuts permanent. And it also expands and doubles the standard deduction for families and seniors. That's very important, and I think that that's something that Trump can hold his hat on as a positive if it all plays out the way it's scheduled to roll out.
1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago.
Now that sounds wonderful, to be giving our much well-deserving veterans a little kickback in honor of their service. I agree with that 100%. But if you guys remember, when he campaigned, he said that he was going to have a dividend payment for all Americans. So now it goes from all Americans to just veterans. Let's hope he sticks to that.
In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interest to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called Most Favored Nation, and no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, trumprx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care.
I took a look at that as well, and it looks like Trump RX is above board and is a real thing. It says it's not a standalone government pharmacy that sells drug directly, but rather a government-backed program, trumprx.gov, designed to help Americans find access, lower prescription drug prices. It aims to increase transparency and negotiate deals with drug makers to reduce what patients pay out of pocket under government programs like Medicare and Medicaid. All right, so that's actually another good thing, a plus that Trump can hang his hat on in his first year.
I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower cost. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault.
No lies detected there. It is actually the Democrats in this case pushing for increased premiums. So got to give them that one.
Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And
the housing industry is definitely in need of reform. It's amazing how they have allowed these large multinational conglomerates like BlackRock to buy up the majority of the residential homes in America, just completely fucking the market. Yeah, there's absolutely a lot need to be done about that. So anything to push the envelope towards the people in that regard, I'm all for it.
A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens. 100%.
Okay, all that sounds good, but in actuality, it appears that Trump is somewhat mishandling this situation with ICE. There have been a lot of people upset with the way that it's being carried out, the execution, the logistics, the targeted audience, so to speak, who they're going after wasn't really the way it was portrayed during the campaign. So I guess that leaves something to be desired in that area. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what the political pundits are saying, because we're getting mixed reactions. But a lot of people are expressing different angles, and we'll just get into it right now.
So it's very clear that this was all another trick. This is all just part of the bag of tricks. And I'll tell you what happened. Trump tricked the media and the public into watching this garbage. His approval ratings are in the toilet. His favorability is in the toilet. People's opinion of his job approval, specifically on the economy and immigration, is in the toilet. It's all bad. Trump is unpopular with his own base because of the exit of Marjorie Greene, the handling of the Epstein files, the post about Rob Reiner, the lack of conclusion to the war in Ukraine, lack of mass deportations, lack of law and order from National Guard in the cities. People are not happy with the Trump administration. He's not delivering. All he is doing is talking. Rather than deliver one or any of the promises that he made, he is simply talking them up, trying to convince us that they are certainly happening. So he went and traveled and did a rally last week where he gave basically this exact same speech. And you might not know that that happened, and probably you didn't see it. He went out to a rally last week and gave a big stump speech. He's a lame duck president giving a stump speech, giving a campaign rally, talking about how everything is actually fine. Nobody carried it. Nobody picked it up. Nobody paid any attention. So this is where they hatched this idea. How are we going to get the public to listen to our defense of our catastrophic administration? We will trick them. We will actually just lie to them.
Wow, didn't expect that take coming from Nick Fuentes. I knew he'd be somewhat critical, but he basically just blasted the president on all levels. And his assessment is a little more critical than what I personally would assess. I think there has been some positive, but you can't really argue with Nick Fuentes' take on it because his performance does leave something to be desired. He's obviously, I think, in age, he's starting to have issues as far as dementia or whatever. I'm not saying he has dementia, but I'm saying he's exhibiting symptoms of sometimes either like he's drugged or not all there. I don't know what it is. Let's continue.
So as you watch this speech from your vantage point in Oregon, Dean, what stood out for you most?
Well, this is kind of a greatest hit of crazy. I mean, if I were one of his staffers, in all seriousness, I'd be wondering about the man's sanity. I mean, this is utterly divorced from reality. I mean, just starting from the word go, that he inherited a mess. No, he inherited a very strong economy. That's not my assessment. That's just universal assessment. I remember The Economist magazine, which is not a left-wing outlet, had a cover story, the U.S. economy, the envy of the world. This was just before the election last fall. The unemployment rate was at 4%. The economy was growing about 2.5% annual rate. Inflation was coming down to its 2% target. We'd had a boom in factory construction. This was an incredibly strong economy by almost every measure imaginable. So Trump gets in there and says it was dead. This is crazy. I could go on. His immigration stories, 25 million. The numbers that most, it's roughly estimated somewhere around 6 million. Asylum, again, this is another one that you go, oh my God, no one can tell this guy. He thinks that when people come here for asylum, for political reasons, they face persecution in their home country, which is in the law, that they're released from insane asylums. There's just, it just goes on from here. This is utterly removed from reality, and it's a little scary. I mean, this is the man who decides whether we go to war, controls the nuclear weapons. I mean, he is not in touch with reality.
I don't know if I completely agree with that take. I mean, the measure of a strong economy sometimes, or most often, doesn't reflect boots on the ground citizens when they go to the gas pump or go to the checkout at the grocery store, and how their pockets are affected. And I can assure you, as living through it under Joe Biden, the economy was fucked up. And it's not gotten a whole lot better under Trump either. So, I mean, this is just his first year, but as of right now, the economy's still pretty unstable, and the future is pretty uncertain for normal people like us who go to work and have a job every day. And the threats we face as far as the future, and with AI coming in, replacing jobs, and just the scarcity of employment to begin with, we still have a lot of challenges we're facing.
The mess he was left, all that he's done, the difference, and comparing and contrasting, and I thought they very effectively used these charts tonight.
Absolutely.
And I think they speak loudly to the American people, because there's always an impatience, but his entire tax plan has not even gone into effect yet.
Hasn't even gone into effect yet. That's exactly right. And you look at the contrast. I mean, that was outstanding. And you said it during the break. We talked about it. President Otto Penn, that just left office, could have never done that. He very clearly said to the American people, I see you. And look at the things that we've done. What he has accomplished in just these first 10, 11 months is remarkable, but I think more is yet to come. Look, as a parent, I think about this. He secured our border. He did it. We passed the Lake and Riley Act. It's actually the first immigration enforcement law that we've passed in like 30 years. In addition to that, he has taken on fentanyl. How many kids are going to have to die before we actually take it serious? President Trump said, I'm not talking about it. I am doing something about it. We've seen it from the border to what he's done with Venezuela. And then you look at no men and women's sports. Look, I have a daughter who plays volleyball, who plays basketball. I want her to have a fair opportunity to compete on that court. And President Trump gave her that. You want them to feel safe in the locker room, and you want them to have opportunity in the arena. And he changed the dynamic on that. Look, we could go on and on. He talked about no indoctrination. We've said we want our kids to be educated, not indoctrinated. He has said our Department of Education is failing our next generation. And he's not just going to talk about it, he's going to do something. And tonight he laid out for the American people not only what he has done, but he has said there is more to come.
I am bringing those high prices down, and bringing them down very fast.
Not entirely true, according to CBS News analysis of government data. Americans also say they're feeling the pinch when paying for essentials.
Prices are just too high. Everything is too high.
In a new CBS News poll, 63% of respondents said the economy is bad. 76% say their income isn't keeping up with inflation.
My grocery bill has definitely doubled.
The latest government data also shows that unemployment ticked up to 4.6% last month, the highest in 4 years.
In Trump's America, people are being squeezed in every direction.
So, although we can pull out some net positives from Trump's first year, I think overall, Americans are still hurting, and we are still anticipating some relief. So it looks like the president still has a lot of work to do. Now, here at Free Thinkers News, we are nonpartisan. We don't pick sides. So regardless of who the president is, we hope for success, because ultimately that affects all of us. So with that being said, let's wish our president the best. Hope for better things in the future for our nation, and let's hope that in the coming year we can find more things that unite us as opposed to things that divide us. This has been Free Thinkers News. Till next time, peace.
Don't get confused by the talk. If it don't make sense, we cutting them off. Head on swivel, see the whole scene. Left, right, middle, but we stay in between. No scripts, no spin, just facts in view. If they tell it one way, we check it times two. Think for yourself, don't let them rent out your mind. Truth, don't panic, level head every time. Free thinker news, stay sharp, stay wise. Read between the lines.